Congratulations, you found my video. Too clap for you, boy. So I went on an 18-hour long walk in one go, and I was already sleep deprived before I headed out. And I recorded the whole thing as a 360 video because, well, just watch the video. Also, speaking of 360 video, the video quality is going to be almost unwatchable if you set it any lower than 720s. Like, I'm serious. The video gets stretched out to... You only get to see the portion you're looking at, so the video gets stretched out and becomes really blurry. Go to your video, like, check your video settings right now. Like, click on the gear icon right now. Set it to at least 720s or higher. If things become too blurry while, moving. If for some unfortunate reason your internet can't handle it, well then 480s is what I would consider the absolute bare minimum. But I mean, you can barely tell what's happening. Also, you can rotate this video with your mouse or finger to look around. Anyway, the original intro for this video was filmed at dawn, but the footage was way too dark. Basically, I'm going to Port Chalmers, which is like 11-ish clicks away from my room, and then I'm going to Aramoana, which is 12 clicks away from Port Chalmers, and then I'm walking all the way back. The overall walk was like 46 kilometers in length, not counting the distance to the mole and the walk along the beach. You'll see what I'm talking about. And I originally thought it was only going to take like 10 hours, because usually when I'm walking without the 360 camera, I do an average of like 5 clicks per hour, so it ended up taking 18.5 hours. So yeah, this is going to be a long video. I mean, what do you want from me? Yeah. I'm supposed to, like, I was trying to, like, if you were to go back and look at my previous videos, I used to do this thing where I would just sort of do the intro and then play guitar music, but to be honest, my guitar music kind of sucks. So I was planning to have someone here to, talk to. We will just commentate over the video like this, because I'm not really that good at talking by myself. I'm kind of awkward. And I kind of lack personality when I'm by myself, but unfortunately this whole coronavirus thing popped up, and the country I'm studying in right now, New Zealand, is about to go into maximum, level 4 lockdown in about 1.5 hours, just over 1.5 hours from now. So, yeah. Needless to say, this walk was recorded like a week or two before this. University's been locked down. I'm just sitting at home. I'm lying on my bed with the microphone on, and I'm just trying not to talk too loudly, to disturb the rest of my not trying to disturb the rest of my flatmates, and I'm just gonna... I've got a couple of my dirty dishes on the bed with me. I have to go wash them after this. Don't have much space to put them. So yeah, this is Ravensbourne. Yeah, there we go. There's the title text. The title text has popped up. I'm just walking along the harbour cycleway at this point. It was very early in the morning. I think I set out at around from my house at 6:30, and the bridge where the video had begun from, I was there at like 7-ish. So yeah. So I finally worked out some sort of stable... like, for the longest times, if you were to go back and look at like the first and second episodes of this series, it's super shaky. You can't watch it in VR. I didn't even know my 360 camera had built-in gyroscopic stabilization. So yeah, that was dumb. Now I finally figured out a nice workflow that allows me to, rotate my videos around, make them nice and stable and watchable. And I used to use the university's computers because, well, they weren't actually that powerful, but they're much more powerful than the laptop I'm using right now, but everything is closed now, so that's not ideal. Now I'll have to. I fortunately enough had the forethought to record like, I think I recorded 3 more walks from now. So I've got 3 more walks that I have to edit through and upload. So I'm feeling slightly. I think I actually got the virus at this point. I'm not sure. I've been like from Monday-ish. I think Monday night I've been feeling some sort of weird irritation in my throat. And I haven't started coughing yet. I have felt the urge for like 2-3 times a day to cough, but mostly just weird irritation in my throat, and I've been feeling really sleepy. Like I've been staying up, like when you stay up late to do an assignment and you're very tired. Like I feel like that constantly sometimes. So yeah, I might have it, but my body, like, it's great being 20 years old, because, like, for me at least, because my immune system can really handle some things. So yeah, I haven't been affected that badly. Pretty sure it may be the virus, but I'm stocked up in, I've got plenty of fresh produce and stuff. I've been staying mostly indoors, waiting. I don't want to spread this on to other people. I went outside briefly, stayed away from people, didn't really touch that much stuff, to get some fresh air. I don't really recover that well when I don't get at least a bit of fresh air, so I got a bit of it towards like late in the afternoon when no one was out, and I'm just staying in here, disinfecting all the surfaces I touch. I don't want to infect my flatmates, just in case I do have it. And yeah, I mean, it's not too bad. I've got a bunch of assignments due. It's been kind of rainy too for this week, so I wasn't planning to go outside anyway. Yeah, this is okay. Where are we in right now? Okay, yeah, we're still on the Harbour Cycleway. This seems to be the walking track. Here follows the train tracks, and the train tracks are built into the bays. Like, this used to be a bay. There's a nice little bridge up ahead. I think there's a rowing team on this particular day. A bunch of rowers sort of got out and they started practicing on the harbour. Shame, really. I mean, they can't really do much stuff now that everything is in lockdown. Overall, very calm day. The sun was much brighter out there. It was also extremely cold at this point. Like, mornings, this is just summer. It's gonna get much worse in the winter. I know it looks kind of silly carrying 2 duck-down jackets, but you never know. They might. I really don't know what the weather might be. Some days it could be like freezing cold sometimes, and like I can walk for hours. Like, I've been walking for like 1.5 years all around this place, which is why I started this series. I've just been. I can walk for ages and ages and ages. Like, distance doesn't really affect me, but inclines. Like, inclines can destroy me if I don't have like the walking sticks. And cold, like a little bit of rain, just completely sucks the energy out of me. Like, it is nuts. And I have been caught out in the rain multiple times. Like, I probably won't cover rainy walks in this series since my 360 camera, I can't really charge it. Like, it is a bit waterproof, but I can't really charge it in the rain whilst walking. So, and plus I'm not going to risk it anyway. If a bit of water gets inside, it's going to condense on the lenses and then I'm screwed. But I've walked from like, I think one of these times I did this walk like, I'll say 6 months ago. Basically, I didn't even know where Aramoana was. I didn't know that it existed. I didn't know the road ended there. So it was like 4 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. I reached Aramoana. I realized this road ended there. I walked back. It started drizzling. By the time I got back to Port Chalmers, which you shall see, it was pouring rain. And it was like the middle of winter, and I was walking back I was walking along this exact same path with, well, not a down, it was like a healthy bit of rain. Like everything was drenched, but it wasn't like full thunderstorm, but everything was drenched. It was freezing cold. And those sections where those lakes were, where those bays were, and those really straight sections that I just went through, the wind was extremely strong, and by the time I got back, I just collapsed. Like, I was barely able to stay awake while showering, and I just collapsed in the bed. Oh yeah, at this point we are at St. Leonard's. It's another suburb. So we got Ravensbourne, Maya, St. Leonard's. Those are the 3 main suburbs I know on the way to Port Chalmers. I haven't memorized the names of the others. Sorry. So yeah. So I'm just walking from St. Leonard's. There's this... At this point, farmland sort of starts popping up. So there should be like a little farm coming up with a bunch of horses and I think sheep. Like it's like that's a common thing in the suburbs around here. It's like people just have very like maybe an acre or 2 of land, not really that much, and they just keep horses and sheep and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, this is why I wanted someone else here with me. I mean, just to avoid all these awkward silences. I mean, I really do not know what to say. Yep, I think another scenic. Yep, there we go. Another scenic look. You know, just shift the camera around, see what you can see. Like it clear because you know the scene isn't moving. I find that the footage sort of becomes much clearer in these sections because you know there's a lot less movement and therefore a lot less data to encode, and YouTube's encoding algorithm works a lot better if things aren't moving too much. Especially for me, you know, since I'm a very small, since my videos barely get more than 15 views. YouTube doesn't really encode them to the highest of qualities, so you know, stuff with very high detail like trees, foliage, grass tends to look very blurry when it's moving around. It's very unfortunate. I think this area is called Blanket Bay, if you can recall. Blanket Bay or something like that. And then past Blanket Bay should be another suburb called Roseneath. Oh yeah, so I know about 4 suburbs. Ravensbourne, Maya, St. Leonard's, Roseneath. There's also a road here. Ooh, yay, more scenic time. There's another road that leads from opposite of Roseneath that goes all the way up to Mount Cargill Road, which, as the name implies, runs along Mount Cargill. We should climb out Mount Cargill. I mean, once I recover from this thing, you know, a lot of, like, all the restaurants and most of the businesses, except for very essential stuffs like banks, hardware stores, etc., they're all closed now. So usually when I go on long walks, I don't carry that much food on me, and I just eat at the restaurants at the place, so that's no longer an option. So yeah, I think I'm going more inland now. Like future walks after the next 3 episodes, maybe more inlandish until this whole coronavirus lockdown thing is over. So like I've already recorded a walk up to Flagstaff, which is a mountain just behind the city. Might think of going to Mount Cargill. Aramoana doesn't have like things in that direction. There aren't very many restaurants. I mean, there's this small little cafe run by this, plant nursery thing. But yeah, I mean, so we could go to Aramoana soon, Doctor's Point Beach, a small little surfing village on the opposite side of Blueskin Bay, where Aramoana is. Yeah, these are all future plans. We could go further inland onto the plains, or there's a couple of ridges and stuff. Like, I haven't actually gone inland. I prefer beaches and oceans. Oh, this is Sawyer's Bay. Sawyer's Bay. So I know 5, 7. Sawyer's Bay was just behind me. And now we're closing on to Port Chalmers. Anyways, as I was saying, so there's a couple of ridges and cracks that lead inland. There's Mount Cargill, there's Blueskin Bay. I don't talk to anyone, but I'm on my walk, so I'm not really much of a infection hazard once I do recover from this. So, future plans, stay tuned, do all the usual stuff, if you want to see more. Okay, we're closing on Port Chalmers now. Yep, this is the beginnings of Port Chalmers. There is a small little monument here. There's a lot of war memorials in the Dunedin area. Targa Dunedin, like black and yep. This is Port Chalmers. We are entering Port Chalmers now. Like Dunedin used to be like the old capital of New Zealand back in the 1800s, 1900s. So there's a lot of memorials for the First World War, Second World War, and that sort of stuff. Here's another war memorial, like in the middle of Port Chalmers. They've got a nice little water fountain here, and there's a nice little restaurant that I always stop by right next to it. Japanese Filipino place called Futamaki. And there's really nice toilets. Like these are the nicest toilets in like 20, like if you don't count Dunedin, these to get to a nicer toilet, you'll have to walk all the way to Aramoana. Like all the toilets from here. I mean, no, not Aramoana. I meant Waitati. Oh my God! Was I accidentally saying Aramoana this entire time? I meant Waitati. Waitati is in Blueskin Bay, which is the other. Like we're in, Dunedin's Bay right now, the Dunedin Harbour. On the other side, past Aramoana, which is the tip, which is on the tip of this little bay thing, is Blueskin Bay, and at the inland portion of Blueskin Bay, like towards the small bottom cup, where there's Waitati. Then from there you can go to Doctor's Point Beach, or you can go to this little surfing village, whose name I don't really recall right now. So yeah, Waitati has good toilets. Port Chalmers has got good toilets. That's about it. I mean, Aramoana doesn't really have toilets that are that nice. Long Beach, good stuff. This is great. Oh, this is Boiling Point, I think. Boiler Point. It's like Port Chalmers' main thing is shipping, so this is sort of a small little lookout point built behind the shipping container yard, and it's open to the public. It's maintained by the ports authorities. It's open to the public, and there's this small little jetty there that was built sometimes during the year-end break. Like this was not there last time I was here. Like this little fishing jetty that I'm standing on right now, it was not here last time. Actually, it was a very pleasant day today. It warmed up, nice and sunny, nice bit of cloud cover. I mean, to be honest, I don't like days that are too cloudy, and I don't like days that are too sunny. Because, like, if it's cloudy, the sun sort of, the clouds block out the sun, and it makes everything look super, super drab. And if it's too clear, then the sky is just pure blue. It's such a boring thing, especially now that I'm recording. You know, it's nice to have some clouds in the sky, make it nice and interesting. And then, but not too many clouds obviously block out the sun. It's a very weird balance. But we had that balance for the past couple of days while I was recording my walks, and especially the third episode from this one it's gonna be really good. And extremely bad. Basically I caused some damage to some stuff. You'll see. If you stick around. Oh my god, my arm's getting tired. I need to shift around. Oh. I think this is Carey's Bay. I believe this is called Carey's Bay. Or it could be called Sawyer's Bay. It's either Carey's Bay or Sawyer's Bay. I'm pretty sure this is Carey's Bay. Tap, 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 walkie. Yeah, I think it's Carey's Bay. So it's Carey's Bay, and then after this is Sawyer's Bay. Damn it, I think there are cars outside. I apologize if there's some noise that's being picked up in the audio. I'll have to master this in some way that allows you to hear all the ambient sounds without my voice becoming too loud and just drowning everything out. I'm just gonna well, this is kind of awkward. I have no idea what this stretch of road here is called. Whether it's a bay or something. There's a surprising lack of beaches all around the inner harbour. I mean, you've got St. Kilda, St. Clair, Lawyer's Head Beach, you've got Tomahawk Beach, Smalls, like anything that faces the ocean, like on the other side of the peninsula over there, which I've covered I think in the second episode, which is basically that was before I adopted this style of like having 7-second long shots and just pausing for 20 to 30 seconds. So it's going to be a boring video, but for my second episode, I think I went along the beach there, and since it was facing the ocean, there's tons of them. So, but along here, along the inner peninsula, there's hardly any beaches. There's a bit of sand that piles up, I think, around Dion's place, and I think a bay before that. There's a bit of sand, but it's like a lot of this is mud flats. Like if you were to walk on the peninsula along Highcliffe Road, which is really high, like you see those mountains all the way in the distance? There's a road that leads all the way along the tops of those mountains, sort of around the peaks. And if you're there at low tide, you can actually see the peninsula at low tide. It's like, you can see like all these weird swirls of brown and orange. Most of the harbour is not peninsula, but harbour. You can see the harbour at low tide, and most of it is just mud flats. Like it's all swirly brown and orange, and there's this deep channel dug in the middle of the harbour for ships to pass through. And yeah, I think where I'm standing at right now, this used to be a small place where small submarines used to be launched. Yeah. There used to be a small little concrete jetty over here. I'm not sure where it shows up in the footage, but there was a small jetty over here that was used to launch small submarines, like 2 or 3. They had 2 or 3 here in New Zealand. New Zealand wasn't that big at the time. It was used to launch submarines. There was some sort of war going on. I don't think it was World War One. It might have been something before that. Just in case. I think there was this fear about Russian ship. It was written on a plague. It was written on a plaque there. I don't recall it that well. So yeah, as I was saying, a good chunk of this harbour here is actually very shallow mud flats, and around low tide, if you're up on the mountains, you can clearly see all the mud, like it's all swirly and stuff. You can sort of see through the water. There's a deep channel in the middle, but along really low tide, like once I did this walk over to Aramoana, it was really low tide. I was walking along the mud flats and stuff, and it was like from Aramoana all the way down to Dion's place, it was just mud, and I was shocked. I was like, ooh. I mean, that's why Port Chalmers exists away from the city, because... Oof, what was that? Because, they couldn't dig a channel all the way to the city in the beginning, so they had to use Port Chalmers as a port. Back in the early days. So, yeah, I have no idea which harbour I am in now. I mean, I have no idea which bay I am in now. I apologize for... It is like 11... It's almost 11 o'clock at night. I'm very tired. Yeah. Hopefully my weird ramblings have kept you entertained for this long. I mean, if you have made it this far, I am actually quite shocked. You probably have gone further than any of my other viewers have. I mean, congratulations. You seem to really like this stuff. Yeah, I apologize for that. Somebody is moving in the room above me. Not sure whether the microphone picked that up, but if it did. What's that thing they did in SpongeBob in that episode about the training? What's the thing? Oh yeah. This is so awkward. I'm thinking of maybe for the next video I'm just gonna grab a sock. I have some of those googly eyes, those googly craft eyes. What the hell was that? Oh yeah, somebody's leaving the house. I'm thinking of just grabbing a sock, one of the socks I have that has a hole in it, and I'm just gonna stick some googly eyes in there and pretend that's another person, and then we can have a weird conversation with my sock hand. I have no idea what else I could do at this point. It's so... everybody probably thinks I'm some sort of crazy rambling... I'm just a rambling mess at this point. I have no idea what to say. Nothing is going according to plan at this point. This whole coronavirus thing has just put a huge damp on some stuff that I was planning to do with just sucks for everyone, I guess. There's another walk. There's another way of getting over to Aramoana. There's this road that leads along the mountains up here to a place called Harrington Point, which is directly above Aramoana, and then there's a little foot track that leads from Harrington Point down to the little village. Unfortunately, I haven't actually been on it yet. Like, I walked all the way to Harrington Point once when I, figured out that it existed, and by that time it was like late November and it was lambing season, and I wasn't allowed onto Harrington Point because it was owned by sheep farmers, and a lot of places around here a lot of the tracks lead through sheep farms, and during lambing season you're not allowed to walk through them, so I was kind of screwed. I had to walk all the way back. It was very foggy, and actually it was quite, like, it wasn't that rainy, it was very foggy. It was a very weird experience. Like, since it was so high up, like, it was very cloudy and the clouds were low hanging, and since this road is running along the mountains along here, the clouds were going over the mountains and I was walking through them, and it was cool. It was very, very cool. I don't mean like cold, I meant like just interesting experience. Yeah, I carried like, I was, oh yeah, that burp was, oops, drop the mic, oops. Yeah, that burp, god damn it, why is everyone making so much noise? I'm trying to record something. Once again, I apologize for that. Anyways, I had like 4 cups of mango pudding on me, which I used, like, I ate 2 at Port Chalmers, and I ate 2 just there, and then I sort of released a little burp. That was the little story behind that. So yeah, basically I haven't eaten anything since 6 o'clock in the morning, and I wouldn't, like, basically I didn't eat anything on this walk besides 4 cups of pudding till I went all the way back to Port Chalmers, which was like 9 o'clock at night. So from 6 o'clock till 9 o'clock, which is like 12, 13, roughly 14 hours. I haven't eaten anything for 14 hours. This was not intentional. I was not expecting this walk to last for this long. So, like, yeah, I was really starving by the time I got to Port Chalmers. Like, by the time I returned to Port Chalmers, I mean, I was like really, really starving. Like, ouch. See, this is what I'm saying. When the clouds cover up the sun, the lighting just becomes super, super drab. Like, the image, like, it just becomes super drab. Like, the camera just doesn't pick up stuff that well when it isn't very well lit. Like, I could adjust the saturation and the colors and stuff in my video editor, but it just doesn't look the same. I mean, now that, the sunlight is starting to come out through the clouds, it looks very, very nice. And yeah, this is what I'm saying. Most of the harbor is slightly less shallow than this. Like this whole area here is just mud flats. And this just extends for the entire harbour. It's like algae, mud flats. There's a bit of sand. See, there's a little bit of sand here. See, look. A very tiny bit of sand. And then the rest is just mud flats. There's also a ton of shells piled up on some of these. I have no idea what's up with that. Sticks, and sometimes I occasionally bump it onto the ground, so yeah, now you know what that is. We are very, very close to Aramoana right now. I believe this is Dion's place. See, there's a bit of sand there, piled up. This is Dion's place, and then past this is a stretch of this whole area is, I think, referred to as Peninsula or something like that. And it's just a very long stretch of land. Like it's a very long stretch of road from here that goes straight to, that just ends at Aramoana. God damn, my throat is dry. There's also another similarly long stretch of land on the peninsula on the other side of the harbour. It stretches from like the end of Portobello Bay all the way to Otaku. I have no idea why both sides of the harbour have like a really long stretch of land. It's just interesting coincidence, I guess. So yep, long stretch of land. The mountains look really beautiful here. Like if you're not already, I suggest looking at the mountains to my left right now, because it looks really nice. There's a bunch of horses and sheep here too. It's really nice. I haven't stopped the camera in a while. I haven't set it down and just did one of those scenic shots. Hopefully the noise isn't making me too annoying. Also, like if you're watching this in VR, I hope it doesn't get too sickening at this point. Like part of the reason why I stopped for those 20-30 seconds is for those few people who use VR headsets to watch this type of things, because you can get kind of dizzy bopping around like that. I mean, I try to keep my hands still, but sometimes I am tired, like my hands naturally bob around a bit. Sometimes I have to lift them up to keep it from hitting the ground, and sometimes I'm tired. Okay, we're in Aramoana now. Oh my god, we are in this is Aramoana. This is Aramoana. I wasn't able to get that many shots of the village. I'm going straight, like it's getting kind of late at this point. I want to be back before the restaurant in Port Chalmers closed, so I'm just rushing to the mall at this point. I'm not taking that many shots of the village. I'm just going straight to the mall. The mall. What is the mall? The mall is this little sea wall. It's like this long wharf that's built at the end of the harbour. You'll see, it's a very long piece of land. I took many shots there. Let me just reorientate my body. Goddamn things. Yeah, basically the mole is just a little Aramoana is just a little seaside village. I think there's like 2 hotels and stuff there. There's a small beach here, but I didn't have... I'm gonna spoil it now. I did not have any time to stop by this beach right next to me. Yeah, that beach over there, which you can see to my right. I did have any time to stop by here. It's getting really kind of great. I did stop at Aramoana Beach on the other side there. So, you know, stay tuned for that. But yeah, that, you know, that piece of land on the other side, that is the tip of the peninsula. I believe it's called... I forget the name. Wait, is that Harrington Point? No, it's Pilot's Beach there. I think Harrington's Point is above Aramoana. God damn it, I'm getting confused again. I'm just really sleepy, man. I just want to record and master it and get it done with, and then just start the upload process. And here it is. Okay, yeah, just a bit. Okay, I bumped the camera. But yeah, I just wanna record this, master the audio, and start the video upload process. Before I go to sleep. Walking on the mole, walking on the mole, la 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 la. Walking on the mole. Little mole boy walking on the mole, blah blah blah, walking on the mole. Yeah, apologize for the bumps. I just keep... Look, it's a very low piece of land here. Look, not low, uneven. It's a very uneven piece of land. Little bits of mud stick out, and that just catches the stick that the camera's mounted on, and I'm just... You know, I walked here once. Like, I think on my second walk to Aramoana, I timed it so I was here by sunrise. And... Yep, this is at the end of the mole. I got to the end of the mole by sunrise on a previous occasion, and since it was like... I think towards the end of winter, the sun was positioned directly at the end of the mole instead of, you know, being off to the side like it is now. And it is very nice. There's a guy who showed up after I walked back, and he was just sort of screaming, like chanting some sort of stuff while walking across the mole. It was very weird. Seemed like a nice dude though. Yeah, but anyways, at that beach to my right, that's Aramoana Beach. I'm gonna walk along there now. Walk all the way to the end. There's a whole bunch of shells here, like little... Like, I'm not sure whether it shows up well in the footage, or like how it will show up in the final video. Like all those pebbles over there that you see to the left, all those pebbles there, those are shells. All of that stuff piled onto the rocks that look like tiny little stones, those are spiral shells. With like, you got orange white ones, you got purplish white striped ones, you got all sorts of small spiral shells just piled on this beach. And people just walking on it like it's nothing. Like I walk on it like it's. There's so many of these cool little spiral shells that I just can't find in my home country. It's a woof. A big woof. So yeah, that little bit of rock up there that the sun is directly over, that's Harrington Point, I believe, or some sort of point. Basically, there's a way of getting from there down to down to Aramoana, and that's what I was talking about earlier. It was the other side of the peninsula, like the end of the other side of the peninsula for Harrington Point. I am just so confused right now. I'll have to consult the map later. I'm just rambling, I guess. Yeah, I am kind of running out of things to say at this point. I just exhausted myself talking. Yeah, you can also see some shells on the ground right now. You might not be able to pick it up unless you bump it all the way up to 1080s. But otherwise it's good. Yeah. And I knocked the ground again. I'm such an idiot. So yeah. Slowly reaching the end of the beach. And I found a small... It looked much bigger in real life, trust me. Not sure how this will look in the footage, but this seal, that seal over there, looks much bigger. I don't think it's a seal, I think it's a sea lion. Like, it is a big beast. Stood there for quite a while watching it.
Yeah, I'm
Anyways,
just resting my legs right now.
I think I'm gonna say something.
I haven't had a time to properly sit down since I headed out. We've been out here for like about 9.5 hours. I also didn't sleep last night. I skipped out on sleep. I was editing the 3rd episode, which should come out sometime soon. Yeah, I'm running short of time. It's going to take at least 4 hours, like 3.5, 4 hours to get back home. And 3.5 to 4 hours to get back to Port Chalmers. and then an additional like 2 to 3 hours from Port Chalmers to back home. So, you know, and restaurants close at the last restaurant in Port Chalmers closes at like 9:30. So, unfortunately, I won't have time to explore the other beach on the other side of the mall. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just gonna rest my feet here for like 15 minutes or so until I get bored, and then we're gonna head back. You're gonna see some nice afternoon shots. Not really that many, but I'll squeeze in what I can. I'll grab something to eat, and then, you know, back home. Rest up my legs, lube up my thighs, and stay tuned for another adventure. And do all the stuff, you know. So yeah. I'm gonna commence the walking back thing. I'll cut to it, it'll be no time.
So yeah, I was kind of rushing on the way back, so I only took like a few shots here and there. It's not going to be as many. It's not as many, so it's going to... This will... Goddamn keys. So yeah, I was kind of rushing on the way back, so I only took a handful of shots, just a couple of shots. I didn't really stop and take in like a long scenic shot either, so this should pass by quickly. Why is so itchy? So yeah, this should go by quite quickly. And I'm already back to Aramoana. We shall return to this place. We shall walk on the other beach. Maybe I'll make it by sunrise. Maybe I'll be there by sunrise. We can watch the sunset. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I'm not psychic. But yeah, plans. Loose plans. But I mean, you know, needless to say, if anyone actually has watched up to this point in the video, thanks, I guess. Glad that you enjoyed it. These videos will probably be very awkward and low-key for the next couple of weeks until this whole pandemic thing has sorted itself out, and then assuming that we don't just, you know, just die due to some sort of apocalyptic event, maybe I'll get someone else on here to talk with me over the videos, and, you know, it'll be more interesting, a lot more lively. We can make a couple of, you know, jokes, slightly, you know, jokes that kind of push it, and, you know, things can be a lot more lively and a lot more interesting. But, you know, until then, I'm glad that you're enjoying all this. We should be in Port Chalmers very, very soon. Like very, very soon. I did actually quite like the afternoon period right now. It was very nice watching the sun set behind the mountains. I mean, like, as you can imagine, this stuff looks much better in real life. Like, the 360 camera does not do it justice. I mean, it's better than a regular 2D camera, but I mean, it captures this 360 camera thing, 360 VR camera thing, captures a bit of the experience. A lot better than a 2D camera, but it's still not close to being perfect. I mean, this stuff is much, much cooler. But hopefully you can get a small slice of You know, the thing I enjoy doing. And we are closing in. Let me readjust my body a bit. We are just closing in. ASMR style whispering for some reason. Why am I whispering? Okay then. I think that actually showed up on the microphone. I think that was actually quite loud on the microphone. I'm watching the waveform now and... I'm just gonna have a little yawn here. I mean, if you think I'm tired, and if you think you're tired, just imagine how tired I was at this point in the walk. I mean, damn, my feet hurt. I think I actually had like a blister. I think a stone got into my foot and they caused me to walk a bit funny, and I got a little blister, and that blister, like, my face doesn't really show it. I don't really, like, I know my expression seems kind of dead here, but it was not very comfortable. I mean, there's this blister on my foot, legs hurt, my inner thighs were, rubbed raw, were like very, I think it was a slight rash. They're kind of swollen because they're constantly rubbing against each other for like 12 hours at this point. So yep, back at Port Chalmers, making... Yep, and I grabbed something to eat, and by the time I got out it was very dark. I was able to grab a couple of shots, but most of them, this camera doesn't really do well in the dark, so I had to... A few shots that were under street lighting was, it was adequate. But I mean, otherwise this was, and I'm all the way back at St. Leonard's. I'm walking along the harbour cycleway now. This video is going to be over in a few seconds. I might just, cut myself off abruptly. Like, don't be surprised if that happens. This is quite close to being over soon. Yep. And that was the low battery signal. This is almost it. I am leaving the harbour cycleway. Very soon I'm at the bridge now, and I'm just gonna smash cut home. Thanks for watching. Do all the usual YouTube stuff. Goodbye, I guess. Potato.